OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Morphling.
OG's turn to pick.
Lena.
Radiant team pick.
Earth Spirit.
OG's turn to ban.
Bloodseeker.
10 seconds remaining.
One by one, they fall.
5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team
The
ban.
next label play.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to pick.
The undying waits.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
League's assassin.
OG's turn to pick.
Man stands ready.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban.
Bad Rider!
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Place.
The next label play. The next label play.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Choose your hero. Ten seconds remaining.
Yeah! Up we ride into the sunset! We ride into the sunset!
That wasn't too much.
Prepare for battle.
Thank you, Shiver. Cinderin is not laughing. Holy shit. What? Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed today, young man? Did you see my shirt, by the way? Look at my shirt. Open it up. Take a gander.
Oh, you switched for that. You switched for it when it got picked, right?
I have. Do you really think I switch clothes that often?
Actually, no. You were wearing
better than that
it the last 5 days.
Yes, just waiting for one team to finally pick Nyx Assassin. What a... I really don't like this hero, actually. I'm not a fan personally, but can you tell me why they picked Nyx? I'm actually interested.
Good question. You know, I think that's one of the things that's so interesting about this OG team is that I think a lot of the times when they do these creative strategies, there's no... It's not immediately obvious why they're picking the heroes that they are. And I think sometimes it's going to click after the game, and sometimes maybe it's an experiment for themselves where they're not... Like, they have an idea, but it's not... Maybe it doesn't work out exactly the way they want. What I imagine here is that they're considering Nyx a pretty decent counter to Bloodseeker, because you have a guaranteed way of stunning him every fight. He has to cast Blood, right? You can always Carapace that spell. You can't really rupture Nyx either without getting stunned. He will always be able to Carapace stun you. So there's like some sort of guaranteed way of controlling that hero in the spot. And on top of that, you have another hero. Nyx was picked third, right? So they saw Lina... They saw Lina, Bloodseeker, and Undying, I believe, at the time. Good hero matchup against the Lina. Again, Carapace against ground cast spells like Light Strike Array and Dragon Slave, you're gonna get stunned, you can't do the full combo. And on top of that, maybe they just like it as a lane support for a ranged hero. Usually you want a melee support in this patch, I would say, when you have a ranged carry in the safe lane. You want some sort of boy to just go in front and tank up. You see him right now, blocking out that Aramis stun. And trading.
Yeah,
he's not gonna win this trade.
I think the most interesting thing, although this Clink's pick, as the panel was kind of talking about, has not been picked in this tournament so far. Mid one is going to be using that hero to... I know you're a real fan of this hero, especially when he got changed back to like the 5th time that Death Pact is his ultimate now. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but you kind of get the gist. They don't really have one of those like crazy combos where you eat an Enchantress creep, which I assume still works. So what's the deal with this hero?
I'm wondering if they like against, because like the strafe isn't particularly good here, right? The range evasion doesn't matter that much against these radiant heroes. It's a Sven. Like a Sven with Ags seems like a pretty bad matchup for Clinks. But it could be that OG have a lot of the times when they build these strategies that like some insane timing. Like maybe they have a strategy where Clinks hits this item along with this item on Batrider, and then they're just going to roam the map and fight everywhere. Maybe it's like a macro strategy around the map where they're like, okay, Viking, when they play these last games in the series they played very slow and very farm intensive. We're just going to play heroes that roam the map and break them apart. Batrider, Earth Spirit, Clinks fits that bill for sure, and Nyx. So that might be the primary approach. It's just the bigger picture rather than matchups or a specific hero timing in the game. I know I'm just saying a lot of... That's really because this strategy is so unusual that we have like no data on this strategy in this patch. Like there's so many...
I would prefer that you be honest than actual just bullshit your way to an answer. You know?
I'm being honest.
That's the beauty of you. I know. That's why I appreciate you, you know? When nobody else does, I truly do appreciate your honesty, Cinderin.
Oh,
if you don't know anything...
Celery is burning a lot.
Yep. That's 4 stacks of sticky napalm. Make that 5. And Celery's going to continue to get chased down by Seb, who's going to dive the tier 1 tower. So this will be a trade of sorts. But First Blood does go the way of Seb and OG.
You're generally really happy with it as Batrider. Yeah, you trade away and Sven gets the kill, but because it's First Blood, Batrider as a hero in lane really loves getting these fast boots and one extra item. It's a very momentum-based hero. We'll see if he goes straight for travels. We could see Seb going for maybe a drum build-up, maybe some sort of alternative utility item like Yules, whatever he thinks is good in the game. But usually trading 1-for-1 where you get the First Blood is fine. I really like when it's Batrider. It's just so nice, and you expend so many resources. The enemy team uses a lot of resources too to take that fight. You get the refill, you get a kill. Straight back in action. And again, Celery is actually... Oh, I think this time there won't be a trade, Shannon. I think he's actually just flat out going to die.
A lot of damage. Another 5 stacks of sticky napalm.
At all. They seem a little unfamiliar with this lane matchup. They both get sticky together 4 times in a row, I want to say.
Well, Chad still has 7 stacks, but I don't know if Seth can actually pursue this any further.
Oh, he has Flame Break.
With 8 stacks, here it comes.
Oh my god.
Or aggression from Soxa. That is an actual super easy kill once that many stacks are from him.
You know what the word is for
bottom lane's a disaster.
That's disrespect. If you don't start yielding to Bat as a melee hero when you have 5 or 6 stacks and you start farming creeps, you're just not respecting the hero. I guess he wasn't accounting for the possible skill point in Flame Break, but the Bat just leveled up to 4. You're giving him the chance and the opportunity to do it. He's gonna take it.
Yeah, and now Seb is going to be able to get some solo XP now that Soxa is roaming towards mid. We'll see if he can turn this into a kill of sorts. This is the lane we haven't talked about. Boom playing Zeus versus Thompson's Morphling, which is what the panel were kind of predicting here. How does that matchup work out? The
awesome lane for
Morph versus Zeus.
I don't see what Zeus does. Zeus, it's all about the constant harassment to dominate the lane, and Morphling presses 2 buttons and heals 500. So I don't think Zeus can really bully him at this point. It's about... Zeus is really good against Morph later in the game in terms of having that insane burst when Morph is trying to go for a play with high agility. But currently, you can spam Arc Lightning all you want. Morph is just gonna outrange you, heal up again, and keep going. However, if he does Morph down to try to get value out of his regen, there is a Bloodseeker giving Thirst plus Zeus ulti. So he can actually get killed globally at any point if he's not careful when he does the attribute shift.
It's true.
That is going to be funny to watch if that happens, actually. It's pretty likely to happen at least once.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, OG only gets 1 bounty rune at the 5-minute mark, so that's something going the way of Viking, who technically have the net worth lead right now. Shad on Sven. We saw this yesterday. We did cast their series where they lost 2-0 to VP, and it was in pretty convincing fashion. It wasn't really that close at any point. But we're seeing the phase boots into Midas. So I'm just starting. We talked about this a bit yesterday as well, where you thought it might be game dependent, but it seems to me that it's basically just player preference at this point. Would you agree with that?
Case Boots are really good against Bat Rider. I think he has a very good case rate in this game. Having a way of improving your turn rate against Sticky Napalm is really valuable, and increasing your move speed against Bat, like creating a gap, is nice. But you could still go Face Boots Mom, right? The fact that he is prioritizing the Midas every time does indeed seem like that's just his go-to build, but correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like most Svens this patch go to Mask of Madness, but Chad doesn't seem to be that big of a fan. Celery. Oh, they missed the Flame Break. Actually kicked him away. Just a mistake from Soxa there. I think he failed to drop a stone, and that probably saved Celery's life. So, count his lucky stars there.
Indeed, so no kills to come from that, at least not yet. As Soxa is chasing on Undying's turret, so a little bit mismanagement there from Celery. He's going to take Stormhammer to the back of the head, but we'll be just fine. Sub comes for some moral support, has that bottle. Already got the bounty rune earlier, so has just been spamming away at his heart's content. Toby has kind of been kept in check in this top lane as well, as it's basically a 2v1 for now. But we have seen a bunch of spike carapaces like you were talking about. But even with that counter, it's just, I mean, it's good in the laning stage. We'll see how it progresses throughout the game, because based on the Nyx games that I've seen, it just feels like the hero falls off dramatically, especially if you don't have a good mana burn target throughout the duration of the game. As bottom lane, Ev is just chasing Celery, 4 stacks of sticky napalm as a TP support is on the way. Shad gets off a Stormhammer. There's the LSA connecting from Aramis, who's just TP'd in for support, but it's a 1-for-1. Viking will take that trade any day.
Yeah, that's pretty... I mean, yes and no at the same time, because you were the team that had to TP rotate, so now your Bloodseeker's that bit more vulnerable, but at the same time, how are Clinks plus Nyx gonna kill this guy right now? That is kind of hard to see. So.
Is under attack.
It's probably fine. Oh, Aramis is gonna meet Soxa in the river.
Gets off the Dragon's Blade Silence shortly after those. Soxa's not gonna be able to roll and connect. That could have been a setup for a kill with Thompson here. Thompson just waveformed in to Boom. Celery's going to come from some support as well. Thompson does have that bottle. We'll be getting this DD rune. Looks like he's just going to go straight for the shotgun, the E-Blade. First item.
Yeah, some good synergies in his team too. It's not only about his own single target burst, but they can synergize it with Earth Spirit, with the Bat Rider, and with the Nyx. Clinks, not a fan, but the rest of his team really do love some E-Blade action. I think it's also, again, it's about the bigger picture of how they want to play the game, right? If OG are aiming for this playstyle at around the mid-late game where they just start chasing heroes around the map and disrupting farm patterns, then E-Blade is your go-to ganking item on Morphling. It's the highest damage per gold you can possibly get in that stage of the game. So, yeah, I like it. I think OG, things are going according to plan. Like, it's not fully clear, but considering what the heroes they have and how relatively weak they could be in the lane stage, the fact that they've broken even, I think you're pretty happy with that.
Yeah, it looks like OG has spotted this stack of ancients here in Viking's triangle. They're going to ward it up with Soxa as well. Try to block things out, but that's obviously a spin target as Undying's going to die in the bot lane, but we're going to focus on this triangle for now. As Boom's going to get some help with Aramis with the LSA connecting onto Soxa, but very little mana for Boom to actually finish anybody off here. Rolls away to safety. But it looks like Seb got that kill on Undying in the bot lane. So Seb is off to a really good start. Second in net worth, 4-2. Is that on the way right now?
Yep, 9-minute travels in on an offlane bat. That's a very good timing. If it's mid, it's more or less the norm to have it around this time or maybe a bit earlier if you're having a good game. But in that offlane, it's a really, really nice timing. And let's keep in mind, it negated a lane dominator as well. You won the lane against Undying. That is half the hero's purpose, is winning this lane, and it failed. So yeah, Sven's farm is alright, but your own game on Undying is not hot right now.
Top lane, we're going to see the Rupture for the first time this game into the Blood Right. It's going to be an easy kill onto mid one. So Clink's obviously a good target to be able to lock down like that.
Middle tower is under attack.
Fortunately, No Tail did use Spike Carapace, but that's really not going to do a whole lot against the other heroes. But the question is, can Sven come and farm this camp? He has Iron Talon, so that'll definitely help. He has his Midas, which he has already used. In terms of timing, like, you may not like the Mask of Madness will help him farm Ancients a little bit easier, but he's farming decently well at the very least right now. He's just only going to amplify now that the Ancients are here. Here we go.
Radiant's middle tower is under
They have
attack.
not dewarded this ward as of yet, but should be a freebie for them. Does require 3 of them to be in the vicinity, though, just to make sure he can get this. Has to come as well in this medium camp.
Radiant's
We'll be
bottom
going
tower is
for
under
the
attack.
Echo Saber first, and then depending on the game, do you like Ags after that, or like a BKB perhaps?
Ags is
Consider it
amazing
Z-Blade.
against Clinks, but I don't know how well it
Radiant's
fares
bottom
against the
tower
rest of the
is under
lineup. The Nyx Carapace can be pretty annoying for him to deal with, I would
Radiant
imagine.
structures are fortified.
Also playing against Bat Rider, who really... You don't really want to jump into this hero. Not necessarily like, oh, wait a second. It's like a really
With a very nice flame break. He's going to get the lasso off as well, which is going to be an easy kill, but the question is, can OG get out before the rest of these reinforcements end up taking them down? Zeb able to Firefly to the lower side of the map here, but Shad is there waiting. But again, he doesn't really have that much damage, and Zeb is super fast. Toby does have Rupture. Will be getting up. The TP is going to be there,
Radiant's middle
and it's
tower
enough.
is under attack.
Hey,
That is so much
it looks like
space.
Soxa got away as well. My goodness.
That is so much space. OG are immediately going to use that to take over the triangle as well. No Tail gets in there. He blocks the big camp again, so and body blocks the medium camp. So a lot of farm being taken away from the Sven at this point. In the meantime, all 3 of OG cores are pretty happy in this game. It's only really the Sven for Viking that's doing well.
Radiant's top tower.
Okay,
is
Sox
under
is just
attack.
rolling by it for efficiency here. So I was also thinking about, so we were, oh, hang on, Nyx is fine. We were talking about how Nyx has a tendency of falling off later in the games if Mana Burn isn't good enough. I think,
Radiant are scanning.
I want to say there's a second thing that makes Nyx really good, and that is if Carapace is consistently valuable. And usually what makes it fall off is that heroes get BKB, right? But if you look at this game, there's a couple of heroes that Carapace is really good against that really don't want to get BKB. The Lina 4 doesn't want to buy it. The Bloodseeker probably doesn't want to buy it either as a 3. And then you have the Zeus, who also doesn't want to buy it as a mid. Sven wants to buy it eventually, but he'll probably get another item on the way. So I think Nyx will maintain pretty good fighting value for a while in this game. And you can see he prioritizes it, right? He's going 1-1-4, not even maxing Impale or at least getting extra points in it. Sometimes you see 3-1-2, sometimes you see 2-1-4. Flat out just instantly
Dire
boosting
are scanning.
up that Carapace. His most valuable spell this game.
Yep, definitely prioritizing that. Mid one, by the way, picks up an Orchid. Was trying to get a kill with that. We'll talk about that in just a moment as No Tail's going to get Laguna Bladed. Does get the Spike Carapace off, which, again, blood right. And will get ruptured, though, and brought down very shortly after with... Okay, Zeus wants
he died.
himself.
Dire's
All right,
top
boom.
tower
You
is
got
under
it, buddy.
attack.
So... Clinks is an interesting hero in terms of itemization, historically speaking. Orchid used to be a thing a long time... Okay, things could have changed by now. I haven't really seen him recently. Orchid used to be a very common thing for him a long time ago. But I want to say in his last iteration,
Dire's
it
top
was
tower is
rarely
falling.
picked up. It was mostly just like a Desolator into like Diffusal or something like that, as Toby is going to get destroyed. So talk to me about this Orchid on this iteration of Clinks, which is the super old version, I guess we could call it.
It's a good way of keeping the mana flowing. The hero has inherent mana issues because you want to use Searing Arrows all the time for farm efficiency. Skeleton Walk is 75 mana, you cast it all the time to run around. You want to use Death Pact off cooldown, so there's a lot of things that you need to keep going. It solves that problem, and it gives you solo kill potential. Again, fitting OG's strategy of catching heroes off. You want to buy the item that allows this Clinks to pose a solo kill threat. No Tail, Carapace.
Fail. Gets off the Vendetta as well, but there's Shad getting lassoed up and brought down immediately. A terrible loss there for Viking, but they're going to continue to fight, it looks like, as they're showing off the Orchid. A beautiful Impale from No Tail onto 2. Into the roll-in from Soxa. Doesn't have his Magnetize, another 46 seconds. Seth continuing the pressure with that Pine Break as the Blood Right's going to deal a little bit of damage, but in the meantime, 4 have died for Viking. OG are just running away with this. I don't want to call the game. It's not even remotely close. Obviously, as Thompson does have the E-Blade, by the way, but this is looking like Viking from yesterday, where they're just... so far has not been that close, which is not what we saw in the group stage at all with this team.
And one of the things that's a common denominator in their games, in my opinion, is that they draft lineups that lack a little bit of play potential, right? They had 2 mid-Dooms yesterday and offlane Tides, and today they have a mid-Zeus and an offlane Bloodseeker. So what's your catch? Like, how do you start fights? How do you put pressure on the opponent? you're very much reliant on farming your side of the map with the Sven and protecting it, but you don't have good ways of solving when you get skirmished on. You don't have any save, except Soul Rip, but Soul Rip's really not good in this game against these heroes. They're going to get repositioned by Lasso. He's going to get silenced. Earth Spirit's going to jump the backline. Morphling one-shot bursts people, so you don't even get to heal them. Basically, they're just a bit too inactive in their games. And it's interesting to me because Viking, one of the things that really stood out to me and impressed me a lot about this team was their willingness to push towers and make moves when they kind of made a splash. They ran these strategies where they had Dragon Knight and they're playing Boom on his Queen of Pain, seemingly destroying every game until it got banned. And now they've fallen back to this more farm-intensive style, and it doesn't seem to be suiting them that well, at least in the games we've been casting so far. Just giving the initiative to the opponent.
Yeah, but the good news for them is that, well, I say that now, it could be bad news. This is a best of 5, so they'll have plenty of time in this series. Of course, a bit unusual for like a lower bracket type game, but cool to see in terms of, again, the game's not over yet, but I think it's a transition away, but Aramis looks to be done, so another easy pickoff for OG as looks like Thompson is going for Aghanim Scepter's second item. I can only imagine what Clink's Morphling is like, that combo. That sounds disgusting.
I think he wants to turn into Earth Spirit primarily, actually.
Well, yeah, I've seen the clip of him doing, was it him?
Oh, Shad.
Shad is going to get spotted out here. Double TP support coming. The E-Blade is going to be applied into the adaptive strike. Nota with another great impale. Looks like Shad's going to be able to get off his stun, but he lives through the day as OG is now on the retreat. Toby ends up getting off the rupture. They do take out the Undying, but Thompson able to clean up poor old Toby. So it's a 2-for-0 still, but they at least do not lose the Sven.
Yeah, surprised he lived there.
Yeah, I think they just lost vision in the trees. Seeing the perma-stun combo between Soxet. Was it? Who was it? It was Thompson and somebody.
Good carapace. Yeah.
All right.
That's filthy.
All right. Good clean stuff.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
So only 1,000 away for Thompson to get this Aghanim Scepter. Still has Aegis.
Only a 10,000 gold lead.
Only a 10,000 gold lead for OG.
Great outlook.
Not too big of a lead at the 18-minute mark. Viking definitely have a good chance this game, as long as they team wipe OG about 5 times in a row right now. They'll be able to get the illusion rune there. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was a bit skeptical on Nyx Assassin, but being picked for literally one spell seems to have worked out quite well. And Notail has had some really good impales despite it only being level 1.
To me, the big story of this game is how insanely well their bottom lane went. I think this game has been run largely by Bat and Earth Spirit. They've just made so many moves. And
all right, well, Notail, he is ruptured. Did mitigate a little bit of that damage with the spike carapace, but is brought down eventually. Sox is going to de-ward here. Thompson still with the Aegis, so I'm not really scared of anybody right now. And Viking is here in numbers. Meanwhile, OG kind of playing with their food, it looks like. Chad is going to pop that ult. They're going to take down Sox in quick succession. 2-for-0.
Ambitious roll.
Indeed.
Instant punish.
Is under attack.
Sox just really likes these heroes that have balls. Have you noticed that? Tusk. Earth Spirit. I'm sure there's another hero out there. As there's the Zeus ult, but it's not going to be nearly enough to take anybody out. The Undying just melts. That is the Deso reveal, I do believe, for mid 1. So Orchid, this is like such an old school build. I love it. It's going to be going for a BKB now.
It's insanely powerful right now. He hits for 250 and he can solo kill any hero, including maybe not the Sven, but I think he can kill anyone else. If he gets melee range or hits them and just hits them, I think they're going to die before they escape. They have no Ghost Scepters, no Force Staffs, no Yules. He's probably just gonna kill them off immediately. So gotta be careful with that. And it does mean that Vikings' options of playing the map are very limited. They're going to be extremely paranoid to go and solo push out waves. So you're seeing Shad top. I think under normal circumstances he kills this wave, but he just can't go there. There's any combination of any 2 of OG's heroes is actually a kill.
Atos is there for now, but he is so fast and has a Blink Dagger Force Staff on top of the Boots of Travel. So he is beyond mega farmed for a Bat Rider. 3rd in net worth overall in the game, just ahead of mid 1 on Clinks actually. That's what an Iron Talon Clinks as well, so able to actually do Ancients. As Seb Rupture. I'm just going to sidestep the blood, right? So that ends up being a wasted Rupture, and we'll see if OG can capitalize on this, as Toby's going to be caught out. No Tail with the Vendetta. Has a spike carapace up, not really doing anything with that, but the impact does connect, and again, Celery finds his way to the grave. Courtesy of your Morphling, and Arm is supposed to be next, and OG are just completely dumpstering right now. So there's the Earth Spirit Morphling combination being shown with that Aghanim Scepter.
I think, you know what, I know why OG run this strategy. It just dawned on me. Saksa and Thompson both want to play Earth Spirit every game, and they couldn't settle who plays it. So they just made a strategy where they can both play it. So it's not just a flex pick, they're just picking it for both of them at the same time.
Radiant's bottom barracks has
I wouldn't put it past them, you know?
Radiant's bottom.
I would not put it past them at all.
It is such an insane hero for Morphling to turn into. You get all of the stones every time, I believe, you turn into Earth Spirit. You have 7 stones to play, so you can just roll through fights. You can go from one target to the next, to the next, to the next. You get insane ability, you get extra spell damage to synergize with your E-Blade. It's just
well, that would be
it's a new Morph Shaker.
That would be a good way to nerf it. You just get their current stones instead of max right away.
Oh yeah, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty convinced you get max every time.
I just assumed you're right, but you're right. You've been wrong so many times that I can't just take your word for it.
I have feelings too, you know? I used to. Okay.
This is where we get a message like, why are you so mean to Cinderin?
Why are OG so mean to Viking, though?
Yeah, this is...
Let them
this is a
farm
rough
a
showing
bit.
for Viking, no doubt. Well, you're right about the rigidity. Is that a word? I think so. Rigidity of their drafts, and maybe it's something that has just been discovered about them based on their group stage. They had a lot of games to play, and they did really well. We're seeing their counters now. The initiation from OG is underway. Shad's going to get kicked away to the other side of the map, basically. Has his ultimate activated along with the BKB, so he's not going to be brought down quite yet. There's no casualties. No Tail. Going to get that spike carapace off, but the BKB is just going to ignore literally every part about that. But in the meantime, this fight is quite segregated. Toby's going to be the trade, so it's a 1-for-1 across the board. Stage of the game, better than you can expect for Viking, based on the fact that it's down 17k right now. But Aegis is gone, and Roche, we'll see in about 20 seconds when he will be up. As there's the initiation again, and this is how many deaths for Undying. Not to highlight this, but 1 in 10. It just feels like he has died so many times. It's like the first engagement. So there's the initiation from Seb, and Shad is in a lot of trouble, and by that I mean he's dead. Does not have buyback to speak of. They're just going to call it GG, as this game 1 was all OG.
Complete beatdown. And I want to, now that we've cast 3 games of Viking in a row, you and I think we want the same thing from them, right? We need to see something. I would love to see them pressure in a game. I'm not saying they need to go all out on it. You don't have to pick like OG just did in this game and go way too crazy, but I think really a key change I would like to see is get Boom more involved. Get him, not necessarily the Queen of Pain, but
seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
Morphling. Earth Spirit.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Breaker.
The next label play. The next label play. The next label play. The next label play.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban.
Faceless Void.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. OG's turn to pick.
Lena.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Shadow Demon.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to pick. OG's turn to ban.
Man stands ready.
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to pick. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. 10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Axe.
You may now select your heroes.
The next label play. The next label play. The next label play.
seconds remaining. Prepare for battle.
Hello? Cinderin? Are you there? Cinder, your face looks so stoic today. I'm so proud of you. You've finally done it. You're not giggling like a disgusting fiend anymore.
It's all coming together.
Cinder, I'm gonna do the analyst role today, okay? For the first 2 minutes while we have this pause. I'm gonna tell you why I, in my very expert opinion, like this OG lineup, okay? So, and you're gonna tell me where I'm horribly, horribly wrong. First and foremost, they have, which is not only a great save, but also a great illusion creator for one of the greatest illusion heroes in the game, Morphling. And then number 2, which the panel kind of went, can we get my face off the screen, please? Enough with this fatness. Please, for God's sake. The second thing that I like about this lineup, Cinderin, is the Spirit Breaker that the panel kind of brought up with not only the Bulldoze. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this one. I can't remember if they changed this or not. Do you still, when you become a Morphling replicate, do you get the Ags version of the spells? Because even though I didn't think this was a good Ags, Spirit Breaker Ags, which he would get essentially with charge, is unbelievably. It's a 6-second cooldown. You can use it multiple times in fights. I like this combo a lot. So tell me where I'm wrong, Cinder, and please crush my soul. Damn it, Cinder. All right, sounds good. Thanks for joining us, Cinderin. Really appreciate it. I get your pay as well, right? Okay. Especially if you have a Midas every game. Ooh, bottom lane.
Radiant's courier has been
Soxa
killed.
gets a nice courier snipe. That is a stick. Gone now. Nice pickoff.
Handsome devil, handsome devil, tie.
Yep, just continuing to get harassed. We'll see if he ends up going with the same kind of item build as last time, or if maybe last game was more because he was just off to such a good start with that pretty much instant E-Blade purchase. Saksa continuing the pressure in the bot lane. Just gets off the disruption there.
Tower is under attack.
Jad and I have the last hit. We're already seeing a charge here in the mid lane from No Tail. Not sure if they're actually going to connect on this top one. Morph down all the way through agility here. Now, my question to you, what do you think of Spirit Breaker position 5 if there's no Morphling in the game? Like, is this the main reason they're picking it? Or at times, position 5 Spirit Breaker can just feel awful, right? Well, a lot of times, I would say, depending on the lineup.
The next label play. The next label play. The next label play.
Yep. Side steps 2 of them. Yeah, very nicely done. Center, we give everyone the benefit of the doubt, okay? It was a great play by Seb to sidestep both spells. But this time around, Cinderin, you kind of were mentioning it earlier, as Seb's going to continue to take a little bit of damage here, but Celery not able to connect with the cookie this time around. But Viking off to I know this is super early, but they're off to a way better start than last time. I mean, at this stage, Seb and Saksa were just destroying this bot lane. Look at this axe in terms of CS. I mean, not a big surprise, obviously, since it is an axe that's just going to be splitting the lanes and whatnot. But Toby, just god tier farm right now. Top of net worth in the entire game at this stage.
This is something that OG supports just can't deal with. They're not good against Axe. And when Axe has that good of a lane, he's going to get really farmed. The reason I'm not completely sold on the pick is that I think, yes, his laning and his farming is going to be great, but I think there's pretty tough hero matchups in this game. I think Morphling is good against the hero. I think Shadow Demon is good against the hero. And I think even Doom is good against the hero just because you have percentage-based damage. You have, you know, the Doom. Dooming Axe is not necessarily bad.
Saksa's dead.
Yeah, he definitely does. They get that bounty run. But so absolutely with you, though. It's huge for Viking that they get off to a good start on Toby. He's had some rough games, man. His last games have not been easy.
But I would say that every lane is being won by Viking right now. I don't know how heavily it's being favored, but every single lane is definitely advantage Viking right now.
For sure.
You can see in terms of net worth, Lina versus Morphling, already a 400 gold net worth advantage for Boom on the Lina. Is going to get some help here from Armis, but Strength Morph already up, so Thompson should be fine. The Laguna Blade is available, but obviously wouldn't have been enough there. Saksa did get TP though, but it did force out one TP.
Got the bottle refill out of that too. Oh, solo kill. Toby solo kill in mid one. That's a really big kill.
Yeah, No Tail was charging quite a ways away, but not able to get there in time. Still only level 2. But Toby, level 7 now. Top net worth by a long shot. Has the Vanguard. I assume Blink will follow soon after, as Boom is going to bottle up a DD. So how important is it for Viking to just continue the snowball? Like, is this, what kind of a lineup are we looking at here? Because you talk about the aggression of OG, as we're going to see it again in the top lane. A charge into the Stormhammer, I presume, although mid one not wanting to aggress any further. Totally basically out of mana at this point, but against Axe, not really not really a great matchup. Bottom lane in the meantime, Seb gets taken out by the triple pressure Viking lineup. So this is the second time around. This time they do get the Doom instead of the Shadow Demon. So Viking,
it's just
bouncing back nicely.
It's just
I mean,
night
they
and
changed
day.
up the lineup quite a bit.
It's just night and day from game 1 to this, right? It really comes from the better laning matchups and the fact that they have this hero that can move. Aramis has made 3 out of their 4 kills with their Spirit, and he feels safe to leave top because it's such an amazing Axe lane. I think probably overlooked that a little bit, or definitely overlooked that when we were talking about the hero, that in this game he's very easy to leave, and that is what Earth Spirit loves, right? We talked about the game with Earth Spirit Timber the other day. Charge here.
Yeah, a lot of damage being done with the Scorched Earth. Looks like Stellar's gonna live a little bit longer, but finally goes down in the midst of the tier 1 tower. Seb taking heavy damage from the tower, but will survive through the day. So again, showing that global pressure from the old Spirit Breaker. Go ahead. Finish your thoughts, Cinderin.
No, I mean, I pretty much covered it, right? It's just when you have Earth Spirit
Top lane,
4,
mid one, you're gonna have to shut your mouth, Cinderin, as mid one pops the ult again under the tier 1 tower. Sox is here as well, and Toby bit off a little too much this time around.
Sometimes you just don't spin.
Level advantage.
And you're fighting a Sven with Mask of Madness God Strength. That is... See, in their practice sessions, he gets that kill because the other Sven has Faded Boots Midas. But mid one
I knew you were gonna
had a
say
Mask
that.
of Madness, so he just crushed him.
Yeah.
He just pressed the button, 2 buttons. He pressed ulti 2, and then he smacked him, and he won.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, double neutral item.
can't
Iron Talon for mid one, as well as a Broom Handle. Probably going to be going the way of Doom. Really nice item on Doom. The melee attack range is so nice for Infernal Blade, so I reckon he'll be taking that. But yeah, I mean, now we've been to this thought like 3 times. I love strategies where you have Earth Spirit and the offlaner can be left alone because it opens up so much pressure on the map. When Earth Spirit is missing, you can die in your save lane, you can die in the mid lane, and this Axe realistically only dies in this lane if he does something like that. Like, he needs to try to solo kill the Sven in the tower against God Strength, or he doesn't really die. Sven plus Spirit Breaker can't kill him, Shadow Demon plus Sven can't kill him.
It is dead. Laguna Blade not even needed for this kill. I don't think Boom has even used this spell. So
4 heroes. It's a good kill, though.
Yeah, it was quite an investment. That was a smoke gank as well. As Thompson pushes in this lane, but Boom is back now. So no harm
That is
done.
the trade-off. They're kind of giving Thompson a lot of space. He was playing an unfavored matchup, and now he is only 400 gold behind Lina minute 9. I know that's also what he was behind minute 5, but relatively speaking, that is not a bad score for Morph right now. That's honestly very
Top
solid.
lane. Toby's in another precarious spot potentially, as Seb keeping in with the no-tail charge coming through. Mid one's even going to pop his ult, and there's the Doom expended just for this Axe killer. Remember, this is top net worth hero in the game right now. See if Armis and company can get this deny. Looks like they might be able to. Yeah, should be fine.
Need to account for Vanguard.
Okay. Oh, he sits out.
He burned.
Very unfortunate. Seb with that Scorched Earth. Looks like it'll pay with his life, but probably worth it considering the net worth advantage we have here. The charge is going to connect in mid. LSA does go off as well, but the damage is done, and Thompson trying to continue to finish the kill. Gets the vision at the last moment, and Thompson looks like he's back in the game now. His right clicks commence to the Armis.
Oh.
So
I'm really surprised he was in range for that last attack. That looked like a... I don't know.
Well, I was more confused how he even had vision, but I guess he just...
Yeah, there's a little bit of a line there. I think one of the trees might have also been cut by the Earth Spirit roll, so there's a little extra vision, but yeah. Thought for a second Morph wasn't going to get that kill. The Thompson had undershot the waveform a little bit, but just narrowly gets that final strike in, and that's a huge kill. Now he's ahead of Lina minute 10. Really not what Viking wanted when they put these lane matchups. And as good as their early laning stage was, we're kind of approaching a point now where OG have equalized the game. Big Breadwinner Axe died twice, and might even die a 3rd time here. They're going to have to TP and reinforce. They will. They're going to back off here.
Force out the Armis TP.
Dire's middle tower.
Away they
is
go
under
for now.
attack.
Mid one doesn't have ult for another 20 seconds. Wouldn't be surprised if they actually aggressively had it, but there's Armis rolls in. He gets the magnetize off. No-Tail's gonna charge in to try to help him out. Boone is here as well. Laguna Blade finally used to take out mid one Sven. In the meantime, the call is gonna connect onto Sox and chop down to the ground. No-Tail looks to be next on the list. So a nice rotation here from Viking as they take out 3 heroes in quick succession.
Very nice.
But in the meantime, Thompson, at the very least, doing damage in the mid tier 1.
Yeah, that's still well worth it if they don't lose the tower. They're going to TP in the Faceless Void. He's probably going to be able to defend this. Yes, Chrono.
Ooh, all right. Chrono Spirit into the Mortimer's Kisses, into the LSA, but the Waveform and the Strength Park just in time. Looks like he shall survive this. A nice getaway there for good old Thompson. Not deniable as of yet. Now this tier 1 is being pressured. Viking side looks like Axe ends up dying to mid 1. Wow. That happened there. A little bit out of position.
Just overwhelming him. They just brought 3 heroes. Doom, the Bash Bros going in, Doom, Spirit Breaker, and Sven. It's pretty scary when these 3 heroes just run at you with the move speed and Warcry.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
It's kind of overwhelming. Even for a tanky Axe with Vanguard, you're still gonna die there. But at the very least for Viking, they got the kills bottom, they defend their mid tier 1 tower. Would have been awesome if they got that Void kill. Or sorry, the Morph kill with the Void Chrono.
Charge into mid. He actually delayed the Nether Strike, so able to get off the Yules just in time to cancel that. It looks like Seb is just chasing down Armis. We're going to assume he's going to get that kill. In the meantime, No-Tail and Thompson end up teaming up to take out Boom, a very important kill. And now the Stormhammer is going to connect up Toby into the LSA that's been stolen from Thompson into the charge. They just have so many disables. Gets off the call. That'll help mitigate a lot of damage, but Viking just getting overrun in this tier 1 tower. It looks like it'll finally go the way of OG. The fortification is popped though. I'm not sure if they can actually defend this. No Blink Dagger yet on Toby. Is it being delivered perhaps? I feel like he should have a lot more gold in this.
There's something coming. Yep, he has Blink.
Alright, so that could be the turning tide in terms of aggressive factor from Viking there. Shad. Gonna get short. So this one is less. I'm not gonna say even Midas Sven is unusual because I've seen a lot of people pick it up. It's just Mask of Madness is more prevalent. But Void, this is very common. But again, it's basically the same build minus the haze boots, I guess, that he got on Sven.
I think the primary difference is Void with Mask of Madness is not able to farm engines nearly as effective as Sven.
Thompson getting completely surrounded by 4 members of Viking. Looks like he's going to be brought down just barely. Took so much effort to bring him down.
That's Morphling for you.
Well
but they got what they came for, and they might even get the tower. OG are going to defend this with their lives. They're probably going to run in, I would imagine, Spirit Breaker. Just charging. I think just yielding. Wow. All right. Knowing OG, I really thought they were going to start throwing bodies at this. At least the Spirit Breaker to charge into Lina, buy some time, and maybe come in from the side and get some sort of a trade-off. Like, maybe even lose 1 or 2 heroes just to hold the tower, but they're just giving it up there. Felt like it was impossible to hold.
And now they know that Toby has the blink, so Seth playing very, very safe. But it looks like Sox is going to be one that's found. The blink into the call, but Thompson's here as well to try to do as much damage as he can. Mid 1, looks like he's going to burst down for Armis with the help of No-Tail's ultimate. Meantime, Chronosphere onto 2 here. To the Mortimer's Kissers again. Thompson should be fine, but Sven, mid 1, in a lot of trouble. Call's not going to be there, but they're going to kill nonetheless. So it's a 2-for-1 advantage Viking thus far. Laguna Blade applied to Thompson. The agility morph right now is going to wait for him to safety, but by safety I mean 2 feet away from these melee heroes, which is just enough space apparently to get away just fine here. Bottling up with that abuse. I'm just going to call it an abuse. The morph center, which will probably be nerfed.
They have Doom ready. Chad was not expecting that. Oh no, he didn't account for the Doom.
Looks like he'll take out Toby with that waveform, and yeah, the Doom applied to Shad. That is more than enough. So Viking caught off guard despite having the advantage early. It looks like Seller's going to get a triple kill for Thompson, who is just living on the edge constantly in these fights.
Look at 4 bounties. It's a decent band-aid there. Obviously, you're not happy with losing these 3 heroes on your way out. It's 2 cores plus the snap. It was probably avoidable. They had the high ground there, right? They had the high ground. They saw OG were kind of posturing to go up, and they chose to stand there and fight. I think they lost track of cooldowns. The Void was definitely not expecting to be doomed there, just out of position.
Thompson maybe not. Earth Spirit. LSA is actually going gonna miss, but the right click should be enough for Thompson to get the kill. He has support in the form of mid 1 and no tail. This one has a Stormhammer available. Laguna Blade apply, but Thompson is just fine. Look at that triple charge into the Stormhammer as well. Loom is going to be next on the list. Toby able to get 2 inside the call, but no tail. More than enough damage again. And it looks like OG are starting to take over this game very slowly but surely. The aggression just continues. Not going to dive past that tier 2 this time around, though.
Yeah.
Not OG style, typically.
Viking failed to realize something.
What's that, Syndrome?
They took away the Morph Earth Spirit combo. But that means Morph doesn't have to buy Ags. Now he just becomes Earth Spirit for free anyway. So this was why they first picked Morph. They're like, we're getting our Morph Earth Spirit either way. If you pick it, I don't have to buy Ags. If you don't pick it, we will. And I'm gonna play it regardless.
How much of a benefit is it to have a second Earth Spirit, though? Isn't that the biggest reason to have it? I mean, obviously the mobility is really nice regardless, and it's going to be a good steal no matter what.
So what can I say? Thompson just wants to play Earth Spirit. He doesn't care. Like, if there could be 10 Earth Spirit players in the game, he would want to play Earth Spirit anyway. So if everyone else plays it too, that's fine. He probably practices 5v5 all mid Earth Spirit on his time off. Oh, Chad has Chrono.
It's off the time dilation. Nether Strike will connect. Stormhammer on the way. It's actually going to stun him after the Chrono Sphere has already been applied. There's the Mortar Versus is enough to take out Noah. So now mid 1 and company teaming up to take out Aramis. Away very slowly, but they finally get the kill. A 1-for-1 to start things out as Seb forced away the Luna Blade already used. Toby has the Blink Call available. Still has not finished Blade Mail. He had this queued up like 5 minutes ago. It's really surprising. There's been so much aggression here, I suppose. Non-stop fighting. Looks like Sox is going to be taken out chop by the old axe. That'll break up this fight. So a 2-for-1 Viking advantage.
Yeah. Only support's dying though, so relatively minor swing regardless of who comes out on top with a 2-for-1 there, as long as only supports die. Worth noting, Thompson was not involved, so it's kind of a 5v4, and Chrono expended, Laguna expended, as well as Snapfire ulti. I actually think OG are pretty happy with that. No-Tail has Bulldoze running.
Oh my god, he's actually gonna get away. Are you serious? That is such a stupid play. I swear to God, he gets away with the craziest stuff. This is why No-Tail is just an absolute god. Like in a pub, you would actually, somebody would put you on the low priority for that, or your avoid list, literally, for just that play. But he gets away. He makes it work.
Worth talking about with that, obviously there was a high level of Bulldoze. No-Tail's gone for a 4-3-1 build. Pretty uncommon to only see 1 in Greater Bash. This obviously makes Charge of Darkness a lot worse in how it bashes the other heroes you charge through, but from the single target perspective it doesn't matter. The primary target takes the mech stun anyway, because Charge of Darkness stuns longer than the Greater Bash. So if his primary goal in the fight is, I'm going on one guy, I'm gonna go on him, I'm gonna stun him, and I'm gonna cause just problems, then the high level in Bulldoze is really good. What it essentially does is it forces them, if they want to kill him, they have 2 options. They either need to call him, or they need to duel him with Lina. Or they can maybe axe call him, but that call is pretty damn short too. So the moments of opportunity are pretty small. I really like this build. I feel like we don't see it very often. Well, I mean, we don't ever see the hero play it, so I mean, you don't see any build very often. But
I mean, I will say, I know this is gonna sound stupid, Senator, but hear me out here, okay? I know all spells technically scale, but when you're playing a Spirit Pick, I feel like you always want, like, it feels really bad not to have all your abilities. Like, there's a position 5, typically not the highest level, so you have to sacrifice something.
Right.
But just look at the way all of his abilities scale. They're all really good. Yep. It's a tough choice, but you're right. This game definitely working on it. It actually has an Ags queued up right now. Already has the point booster, so we may or may not see Thompson even bother with Ags if No-Tail has his own, but we'll see. I mean, having 2, definitely nice. But if Thompson can continue to get Earth Spirit, then I assume that's what he's just gonna do every time. Oak here from Viking. So, I mean, just talking about farm discrepancy here, you can see Lina on the net worth not doing too hot anymore. Only has a Yule still, working towards a BKB right now. Toby did finally finish that Blade Mail. And in terms of the carry perspective, Void So we talked about the Midas, but now a very defensive building Lincoln Spears. There's the jump in from Toby. Ball connects into the LSA. Looks like they'll have enough to take him out, but will the counter initiation be here? Seb gets the Doom off onto Boom, but he gets Cookie pretty much immediately. Thompson just blows up Snapfire, who buys back into the game instantly. Nether Strike now onto Boom. Looks like he's going to fall one way or the other. And now with the ultimate from mid 1, they're just starting to shred these kids left and right. As Chronosphere is applied, it only is to 1, but it is Doom with that ultimate from Snap. The buyback being worth it to some degree. But now Celery's going to get buyback here if he's not careful. Thompson into Earth Spirit. Celery hiding under the midst of the tier 2 tower. So it's a 2 for 4 if you want to count that buyback. I didn't realize you get the taunt for the hero you steal.
Yeah, and you get their voice lines.
Pretty funny.
That's this. You just get level 30 on Morph and you have every voice line that you can have in the game. That's how you play Dota Plus the game, actually. Get Morph to 30.
That's just min-max that shit, no doubt. Great. So yeah, that fight overall, obviously going OG's way for the most part. I mean, what from Vikings' perspective, what do they need to do here, Senator? It's not like this is the insurmountable lead. It's not like the other games we've cast where they're just down 10k pretty much instantly. They're down 4k. It's 21 minutes in. Obviously, Void not doing any damage right now because of his build, but he'll get there with his MKB.
Yeah, I don't know about the Midas Lincolns. I know where he's coming from because he's scared about getting doomed. He's scared of the E-Blade, but you're itemizing not to lose here, not to kill, right? The MKB is going to help out a lot. So we'll see when he gets there how it's going to affect things, but yeah, I think you wait for the Vessel. I actually think you need it. It's the big item that they've needed for a very long time that they've been able to obtain here, because they can't kill Morph without this Vessel. And it's also really, really good against Doom, so they can find these big tanky kills. It's just not there yet.
This is another thing, Senator, with this Lincoln. I mean, you have a Spirit Breaker who can break it globally, so he's going to jump in with that Blade Mail. He can apply all his pressure stocks, but in the meantime, Lina destroyed, basically has the support items at this point in the game, as Toby continuing on, gets off the call, but dies shortly after. A double kill from mid 1, as OG starting to run away with this fight. Thompson turns into Void. Dilation available. They could just go for Roche if they really want, and it looks like that is exactly the case here.
We both know he only turned into Void to get that voice line. That is the only reason.
Void has a good taunt too, let's be real.
He does, but that is also amazing. 8k lead for OG out of nothing. This game was really even for 15 minutes. And they have just absolutely crushed them. And there's a couple of key parts to that. Doom got his dagger, Sven got his BKB. Actually, he hasn't even used that, so never mind. He hasn't even needed to. And the Morph E-Blade opens up the fight so easily for them. Is the Vessel there? It is now.
Yeah, they have so many Lincoln
there's an
breakers.
Aegis.
It's crazy. It is crazy how many times they can take this off constantly. No tail. Gonna charge in. Looks like he will live through the day. Enough damage from OG to take out Celery. As Boom looks to connect on the ledge in here. Yeah, just the right click's enough. Oh, nice call from Toby's gonna help his teammate survive just a little bit longer. The Chronos here onto 2 as mid 1's on the outside. Gets a nice Storm Hammer, keeping everybody in place. And the right clicks will commence. Toby, one more call for the road. But just like that, it's a 2 for 1. Mid 1 staying alive with his BKB. Looks like he'll finally take out to that Magnetize.
Alright, that wasn't too bad for Viking. I think Lina was completely out of position there, but they still managed to save her with 5% HP from that Chrono from Chad blocking out No-Tail. But at the same time, it means you're chronoing the Spirit Breaker, right? Like, that's what you had to do there to keep your Lina alive, because she was so hungry for the initial kill on the Breaker that she basically set herself up as a target. If there's one thing you don't want to do as Lina, it's become available to kill, right? The hero is extremely fragile. You've just seen in these fights, any one of them gets on top of her. Spirit Breaker, Sven, Doom, or Morph, she dies. There's no defensive item. She's working on that BKB that was close to being there. Yeah, Yules, I mean, you could call it a defensive item. I just don't think it just doesn't cut it here. You really need that extra layer of protection in this game.
Celery getting charged in the bot lane. Soul Catcher's there. And with that Scorched Earth, looks like it'll be more than enough to take him out. Now the tier 2 tower looks to be next. So it looks like Thompson is basically going for the same build as last game. Just had a little early stop off with the Dragon Lance for a little extra survivability and to the right click. But we'll be going for the Aghanim Scepter. which hero from his team
Radiant's
does he
bottom
prioritize?
tower
Is it
is
still
under
the Spirit
attack.
Breaker?
Radiant's bottom tower
I think so.
has fallen.
Are there any other cute plays? I mean, you could turn into Sven and get Ags. That's probably really good. I think I've heard.
Yeah. You've heard.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And Sven himself almost has Ags, so they're about to hit a pretty big power spike.
Radiant's
Like a
middle
Seb in the
tower
top
is under
lane.
attack.
Gonna get off the
charge.
Scorcher.
He's in trouble.
He has the very critical strike pack leader orb, but it's not gonna help here with that blade mail. That's gonna be more than enough damage as Toby with the blade mail is shredding his
Radiant
face.
structure
Nota looks to be
is
next, so Viking getting a couple nice pickoffs here.
They were ready that time. They were definitely ready. They know what OG wants to do on the map now, that they want to make these split jumps where they connect with Spirit Breaker. So this time they set up a bait, and that looked really scary for Aramis, but the Void was in range this time to come in and connect and help out. So they get the 2 kills, one of them being a core. Definitely very good here from Viking. They
is under attack.
do that while having Chrono on cooldown, so now they should be even stronger technically, and might see them look for something here at the tier 2 tower. They can get a jump onto Soxa. They should go for this. They're trying.
They're gonna attempt it. Soxa has the Aether Lens though, so
The next label
I actually think somebody's in the trees, but they will be sadly disappointed in finding nothing. As Thompson, he's going to get called to start things out. Soxa has the save if he wants. Great counter to Axe as always. Creates those extra illusions that have that passive of his, the counter helix. Shadow Demon is going to be the first to die here. LSA will connect onto No-Tail, so no more charges to come for him. So a 2 for nothing as OG looks like they still want to fight. I mean, their cores are still up. From Seb. Pops his BKB, but gets Chrono pretty much immediately. But Thompson just on the outside, enough to right-click away. No Doom available. He does not have buyback either. This fight is quickly turning in favor of Vikings. Shad, LSA is going to help him out. He's going to time up the taker, but there's the Aghanim Scepter from mid one. Enough to take him out. And now he's going to continue to aggress despite having the severe disadvantage in numbers. Mid one going to get called now. This is a Toby buyback. And with that Mortimer's Kisses, that was definitely not needed. But at this stage, you take what you can get.
What's
Thompson
actually
does
happening?
get away. Whew.
That's wild. I think, honestly, a very critical detail on that fight is that Thompson used Replicate into the Void's Lincolns. So he just didn't have the second set of spells that fight, and that makes a huge difference. They were trying to take this fight with just one set of spells from him. Well, here he comes. Alright, he's stopping for nothing.
The double charge incoming, gentlemen. That is kill number 1. Another strike's gonna be faked out. Thompson gets LSA'd. Still has charge available. There's the call to keep him in place, and he's just dead. Over aggression from OG. All you can do is laugh at this point.
He got a really good voice line for the moment. That's why I'm laughing. He made sure to say this is complete and utter bullshit before he died. So very good.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
But we are seeing that is the Aghanim Scepter. Not only increases the speed of charge, but lowers the cooldown as well. Good stuff. Yeah, it's so fast.
Viking are really clawing their way back into this though through these fights. I think OG are getting a little bit wild, and these times Viking have been ready. They've had the numbers. They've had some good spell casting. Lina has played her hero this time. It's a really, really big difference that Boom is not getting jumped for once. Finally gets to play a little bit of backline, get some good stuns off, use Laguna Blade effectively. They got the Vessel off on Morphling a couple of times there as well. But now they need to not overextend themselves. Lina's exposed here. Oh, he wasn't ready for that angle.
The other side into the Stormhammer as well, but Toby again with a great save to start things out. BKB mid one looks to be essentially wasted here as Boom's just going to TP out to safety.
That was an important axe call. Really important.
He's been pretty on point with those. So that was the 8-second BKB from mid one. This is where things get a little bit hairy in that department. In terms of Shad, he's working on a BKB for himself, so has the MKB and still a decent amount away from finishing the BKB. They're going to smoke up and they will find mid. Oh, he's actually going to sidestep by accident, I feel like. And
OG want to turn this? He doesn't have God Strength now.
Yeah, that is
no cares.
But No-Tail has charge.
Some cares. Okay, they care.
Yeah, he's just going to D-ward to start things out. The charge again, this time from Thompson, who has the Ag version of that. He's going to try to burst down Lena, but the Cookie's going to keep him safe. And Shad with the Chronosphere. But look at the strength morph from Thompson. It's more than enough to stay alive through this engagement. His Boom on just the outside. But Thompson's still getting right-click down. Better be careful. Will fall in the end, so it's a 1-for-1 advantage. Viking to start things out, but Celery getting chased down by OG. Seb is so freaking tanky right now. As Notel's going to continue to charge with the buyback out of the Snapfire. Second buyback in the game, in fact, is Toby under the tier 2 tower, just going to get storm hammered. Still relatively healthy for now, but Artemis gets storm hammered from afar. The Superman in play again for mid one. So a 3-for-1 with the buyback. If OG can get out, this is definite advantage despite losing their Morphling. But there's Toby again with the nice call onto the neutral camps. As said, might be the sacrificial land, but we've seen it. OG wants to continue in. Good Lord, how did they kill Void so instantly? Was that a soul catcher? Jesus.
5 poison stacks and soul catcher.
Seb will fall in the end, but advantage OG in terms of numbers. 4 dead for Viking, and the next to fall as well. This is a dieback onto Celery. Wow.
There is no way Shad expects that to happen. He has full HP, he jumps in, he gets 5 Shadow Poisoned, plus Soul Catcher, Sven Stormhammer, and then he just pops. He didn't have Lincoln's ready against the Stormhammer because it was already used against the... I'm not sure what procced it before, actually, because they were able to disrupt him. Did he Monic Purge it first? Whatever they did, it was...
There's literally like a million spells to pop Lincoln's. Just doesn't feel good.
What a fight. Thompson with a wild engage to start things out. Like he tries to solo kill Lena, fails by just a tiny bit of damage, gets chronoed, gets killed, but it takes them so damn long to kill the morph that it sets up all of OG for success. And I think that fight, really crucial. They get the Doom onto the Axe. I really think he's the best Doom target in this game. It's Toby counterplaying every move they make. If the Axe is out of play for 20 seconds, you find these kills on the Lena, you find these kills on the Snap and the Earth Spirit. And you don't need to take the risk of having to Doom the Void if his Lincoln's comes back up, whatever. Just take out the other utility hero and you're good to go. Oh, double charge action.
I feel like,
get ready. Oh, he canceled it.
I feel like Thompson is playing a mini game where he's like, I'm gonna charge to the other side of the map. It's up to you guys to try and catch up to me before I die, which they technically did, but he did end up dying shortly after. So I don't know who wins in that engagement, but I guess OG as a whole. I'm sure they came
out as a big winner in the end after all was said and done, but it looked dicey. I think some big individual plays was what won that rather than the strategy itself of the move. I think Sox's outplay in the end was extremely important, and Seb with a good engage on the Doom. In other words, I would not recommend them to do that as their fight opener every time. I don't think you just YOLO the morph in like that and expect that that is a game-winning play, but that time around it definitely did work in the end.
So No-Tail finally, with the help of his Philosopher's Stone, finishes the Aghanim Scepter. So now they have 2 ridiculous global charges, 2 ridiculous Lincoln's Breakers, whatever you want to call it, and a DD bottled up for Thompson, who are just waiting for Roshan, which will be up in 15 seconds. And we talked about this before with Viking in the series yesterday, Cinder, and they gave up so many Roshes and it dispelled their Doom.
Yeah.
No pun intended, because they did have Doom on their team as well. But
Seb.
Speaking of which, yep,
he has buyback.
Get called. Blade Mail to start, but a nice save.
There's been so many spells.
Kisses. BKB pop by Seb now as the jump in from mid one is there into the charge from No-Tail. Can barely tell the difference. The Nether Strike into the Doom is enough to kill Shad, and that is a huge pickoff for OG, as they're not just going to try to clean things up. Toby's going to be next, as this fight has segregated completely. 3 dead in the blink of an eye. Armit is going to be the 4th, and this is going to be an easy Roche for OG, which will be the Aegis and Cheese. That was the DD Thompson, by the way.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They found I don't know what you do as Viking right now against this double charge and the overwhelming run at you style that OG is bringing to the table. Really the crucial part of that fight, Soxa again, just perfect positioning. He gets the counterplay to their initial axe jump plus Mortimer Kisses. When you've committed all of these spells just to force a disruption, you need to get the hell out of there. In usual Dota, you can maybe disengage. Against these heroes, you can't disengage. You're just gonna get run. You're gonna get run at by all these 2,000 movement speed heroes just charging you down. And as soon as that Void Lincoln's got popped, I just knew that fight was full. They obviously don't need to Doom Axe if he's already caught, so they pop the Lincolns on Void easily, they Doom him. and that fight is just, they're just in the dust immediately. The fight's just lost from 2 seconds in. And that's 2 lanes of Rex.
It's gonna be a double Rex. They cannot go for
on
Megas.
Thompson, you will get Scotty. And 4 bounty runes. Yeah, this is almost a 30k gold lead here from OG. Was this
And
Roche
they
number
throw
2?
it. Roche number 2, yes. The Aegis
Yeah,
and Chi.
so no refresher Ags yet. Well, they do have other Ags already, so.
I mean, when you see Soxa with almost finishing a 3rd item, you know things are going poorly for the other team. Soxa, a lot of times very, very poor on this Shadow Demon especially, but has a Blink Aether Lens, working towards an Ags, only 800 away from finishing. That's triple Demonic Purge, along with all the benefits you get from it, which is such another Lincoln's Breaker, I suppose. Yeah. Lincoln's has not been worth it at all. But perhaps not expecting the Ag's Spirit Breaker charge to be stolen. I don't know. It's just like an instant takeoff of the Lincolns, you know, from global range. I feel like that is so good.
It's really good. A lot of the time, the Spirit Breaker has died first in the fights, and then you can start playing around it. But as long as Spirit Breaker is alive, well, and or Thompson is morphed.
All right, the double charge
Yule.
coming in. Yule's on the cliff, but Thompson, luckily for him,
Loses
has
them a
waveform. Next patch, you can charge wards, by the way. I've seen the patch notes.
I'm so glad you don't know.
Boy. Oh boy! Mid one deep in the belly of the base here, but Shad gets doomed. The Lincoln's already popped, despite the BKB being activated. He is done though. No buyback to speak of, as this looks like the end of game 2 is coming. They cannot go for Megas quite yet. They can go for Throne. The 3 are dead with a buyback onto the Aramis Earth Spirit, but it matters not, my friend. GGs are called. OG again, convincing fashion. This Morphling, I feel like they just need to ban it, man.
They're not getting it. But what do you give then, right? Now you have to give away something else. If you want to ban that morph, if you can't solve it when the enemy team first pick morph, you've gone through the iterations now, right? You gave OG morph Earth Spirit, you got destroyed. You gave away morph, you took Earth Spirit, you got destroyed. So now you either take out the morph or you approach the game completely differently. I liked Vikings draft a lot more in this game than in game 1.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds Radiant remaining. Team picked.
Man stands ready.
OG's turn to pick.
Shadow Demon.
Radiant team
The next
picked.
label play. The next label play. The next label play. The next label. The next label play. The next label play.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban.
Faceless Void.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Turn to pick.
The undying waits.
Seconds remaining. 5 Radiant seconds remaining. Pick.
General Garland.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to pick.
Axe.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. OG's turn to ban.
Void incarnate.
Radiant team ban. OG's turn to ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
The next label play. The next label. The next label play. The next label play.
Seconds remaining. OG's turn to pick. Seconds remaining. 5 Radiant seconds remaining. Pick.
Enigma.
10 seconds remaining.
The next label play. The next label play.
Prepare for battle.
The next label, the next label, the next label.
队友呢？队友呢？
队友呢？
Thank you, Shiver. Thank you very much, Cinder. And how are you doing? It's been such a long time since we've talked. Tell me everything that's happened in the last 10 minutes.
Well, we had a little bit of a break for the players. Apparently one PC crashed as well, which was not on the players' side, I do believe. So that might have delayed the game a little bit. So that happened, but you already know that. And
thank you, Cinder.
Then you're welcome. Just answering your question like a good boy.
Thank you.
Then we had this draft, and
30 seconds to battle.
I feel like Viking, again, I like this more than game 1. I don't know if I like it more than game 2. The Undying did not do them any favors in game 1, but I think this time his matchups will be better in lane, so that's good. I really, really hope the Invoker will play Quaswex though, which it looks like with he has Quas skilled first off. Usually Exort Invokers will start with Exort. Because you need to match OG's tempo. This game around, they're playing a little bit slower in their strategy. They've picked Enigma and an Omni Knight 5, so a bit less hyper aggression. But their late game is fierce in this as well. So start Quaswex Invoker, transition into Exort later, and then you have that Cataclysm the panel talked about. But I really just want to see Viking really bring it to OG and not just let them farm with these heroes they have.
Yeah, for sure. And the Tornado is going to be really good this game.
Great against Omni.
Great against Omni. It's good in lane in theory against the Resonant Pulse. I haven't personally seen that, but basically the two Ember brothers, kind of the same counter.
Good against Enigma Black Hole.
To not mitigate physical DPS. Indeed. A lot of good uses for that Tornado this game.
I think it's an awesome last pick, to be honest. I don't know if there was a better pick for them in this pool. I really like that they identified this as an Invoker game. And again, it's back to what I want to see out of Boom, with getting him a bit more active. If you're playing Shad and Toby the way you are in this team right now against this matchup, I'm not saying this is how they need to play every game, but I think with what we've seen against OG and what we've seen against VP, they just haven't been able to match the tempo. So I think the obvious choice is to bring it out of mid. And this time around, Quaswex Invoker doesn't get much faster than that.
And we're going to see an early TP from Soxa to the top lane, so they might be changing things up here. Perhaps we'll get a kill to start things out, though. Stormhammer onto 2, into the Shackle from Soxa. So Axe taking the brunt of his damage. Question is, can they actually finish him off? The right clicks from Soxa should be enough. I mean, he has one of the highest base damage of any of these, like, support, maybe the highest, actually, for type range here in the game. Very, very high indeed. So first blood goes the way of OG.
And what OG are running here is something that Team Liquid used a lot at ESL 1 Germany, and ended up winning that tournament, of course. They would run an offlane Enigma, and they would help it a tiny little bit in the start, and then they would just leave. Similar to, again, the logic we've talked to death now with Earth Spirit wanting to rotate. This time around, Enigma can always get something out of the lane by just denying creeps with them on a conversion and finding experience, and then you can try lane your own safe lane. And by doing this, they kind of deny Undying what he wants to do here, playing against double strength, because he can get overwhelmed. Undying is not good at being outnumbered in lane. He's really good at even numbers or outnumbering. But 3v2, the hero often falls flat because he just gets, you know, it's a hero that plays on hyper aggression and can get overwhelmed. Already here, Celery is actually in an awkward spot. I think he's gonna die.
Yep, Shackle into the Stormhammer again. Purification to follow. And Soxa expends the Ether Shock, whatever the hell you want to call it, to finish him off. So 2-0 start from OG. We'll see how Viking want to respond to this this setup so far. Do you think that Armis will change lanes, or like, does Void even want to solo against Enigma? Like, how do they change the lanes right now?
He really doesn't. Void is going to lose that lane for sure if he's alone.
So you're forced to dual lane this, which means Seb gets all the solo XP he wants.
I mean, you have one option of putting the X, just kind of trying to fend for himself, pulling and farming jungle, and then tri-laning bot to destroy Enigma, or you do this. I think those are the two good options. Going 3 top, I wouldn't recommend it. I don't think it's going to pay off enough with OG already having that early laning advantage.
An astronomical price.
One moment. There we go. Muted. Very good. All right, so Soxa gonna get battle hungered here, but Decay to follow. Just forcing them out for now.
Seb is 5 stack bottom.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of damage, but...
Purification there from No-Tail, so nice TP support. Artemis takes heavy damage as a result, but looks like he will live, although the Eidolon's continuing to chase.
Oh,
that's
my
actually going to be enough. Seb somehow gets the kill on Artemis. Those Eidolons, man. Whew. They really stack up.
So we see this counterplay from OG now where they have established a foothold in the top lane, so now they feel like they have the ability to rotate away with one hero against this dual lane. And bringing Omni bottom to save Enigma there and get a counter kill, well worth it. It also completely removes Shadow Demon's play in this lane having Omni there. You can always just Heavenly Grace against Shadow Poison, and there's just no aggression coming out of this lane right now from Viking. It's not possible. So Seb will be ensured his farm. They have enabled mid one already. So things are going very, very well for OG in this early portion of the game. I feel like they've enabled all three cores.
Look at the mid lane discrepancy in terms of CS. Thompson obviously in the jungle a bit here, but 30-7 versus 20-1. That is not even remotely close at this stage of the game.
Yeah, Crossbike's Invoker has a tendency to lose to most heroes in the immediate beginning. If that's something you can say. The first 3 or 4 minutes, it's usually your damage isn't that your damage isn't that great. Void Spirit has a spell to ensure range creeps and the Resonant Pulse. Just gonna skill this now as well. Getting the Dissimulate out to avoid EMP. So I feel like this is a Void Spirit favorite lane in the first few minutes. That's just how it's gonna go most of the time. So I don't think Boom has like really underperformed here. What matters now is what happens on level 6. So Thompson has the 6 first. He's going to walk all the way back to base to refill his bottle. No boots yet. He's going triple null before boots on Void Spirit. So he's probably just coming back to mid to push and farm some more.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, Viking,
I reckon they're happy with the side lanes anyway, so he doesn't need to do anything right now.
They do get 3 bounty. I feel like most games we've casted them, they get the 3 out of 4 at least at the 5-minute mark pretty consistently. They've been pretty good at that overall. They definitely value that highly. But one thing we should mention is we see some Shadow Poison stack up here against No-Tail, who Heavenly Grace is a little too late there.
A little late, yeah.
But Axe Toby last game got off to an ungodly start. Now I'm not saying he's doing poorly, but it's just not quite the same as last time around. And we saw what happened last time. He ended up getting an early Vanguard and then into the Blink, and then that's when they actually started to lose ground in the game. Because remember him being stuck on trying to build a blade mill for like 6-7 minutes or something like that. So see if they can get off to a better like snowball potential for an Axe. Stocks up, looking for a little setup here. The ult is popped from mid one. TP support is on the way, so Stocks and company are going to have to back out of here. Although Thompson has come for support as well. Aether Remnant will connect, but Toby gets off the nice call. Thompson in a bit of trouble, has another Astro Step to use though. Looks like he will finally get the kill, but it might cost him his own life. And indeed it will, so it's a 1 for 2 as Socks the fall fell as well. So mid one forced to back up. So nice TP support there from Viking.
Yeah, really good reaction from Boom. He was there instantly, and they get a good high ground tombstone, and that fight just turns sour really quickly for OG. When you initiate a fight outside the tower like that, you generally want to get the kill really quickly, because Radiant has such a huge positional advantage inherently in that area. But OG felt like they had to start that, let's say, 3 or 4 seconds before Thompson connected, and that was enough time for Invoker to TP and then counterplay the whole move. So very important for Boom to get there immediately. If he waits another couple seconds, they just flat out lose their hero there and get nothing in return.
So Shad on the Void, pretty much, I mean, again, this is not unusual, but he's going Midas again. Game he goes Midas, doesn't matter what hero he plays, it feels like. Although he's only played 2 heroes, basically. As it's like Toby took a spill in the top lane. So Thompson's still in that vicinity, helping out that top lane quite a bit, but that leaves Boom with this siege creep to do a lot of damage to this mid tier 1.
No exort point yet though, so can't alacrity it. He would have loved to be able to do that there. Oh, Sox is showing himself. Boom was thinking about it. He's gonna tank the tower here to keep the push going as much as he can.
Now, meanwhile, bottom lane, No-Tail finds Aramis, and Seb trying to close the gap, but not able to get close enough to get off the old Malphite. So now has Black Hole to work with level 6 versus Shad, who just hits level 6, so Chrono available. But again, they don't really have too much damage to follow this up with. So, unless there's a bunch of stacks of Shadow Poison. As always, there is an Omni Knight to be able to dispel it if needed. He's going to continue to chase here, but he looks like No-Tail's going to run right into both Boom and Celery. EMP goes off. No-Tail. Looks like he's going to be able to get the purification off, but Shad comes in with that bash. Tornado to fall actually connects on 2. Either way, will be enough to take out the Omni Knight.
I don't really feel too good about the rotation. We brought 4 heroes to kill a 5 Omni, and it just means that there's nothing stopping mid one right now. He's fully in control of his farm. They're gonna double stack here. Effectively by leaving, I really like OG's choice of not bringing Thompson back to mid, because what they did was the Sven is happy to go jungle at this point, and the Shadow Shaman really wants a lane, but I think he feels way less safe top than he does mid. So you put the hero with the elusive spell top in the Thompson Void Spirit, and then you put the Shadow Shaman mid to get this safe farm. So this way you maximize the most possible out of 2 lanes plus jungle. And, you know, the only play that I really see for Viking in killing this Void Spirit has to come from Chrono, right? There's nothing else threatening him. As long as Shad is bottom, I don't see any limit to how far Thompson can push.
Gets off the Malefice, and there's a Chrono onto 2. Purification did go off, so Seb's a little bit tankier than normal, but he's gonna just reside in his own death here, trying to create a little bit of space for No-Tail to get away, but that will not happen as he is completely surrounded. The Viking again off to a good start. The question is, can they continue? OG's still with the lead though.
Yes, they're only playing 2 lanes. That's the problem here. It's a couple of good kills, especially the Enigma kill. You're killing the Omni again. I don't think he really cares that much. But it's the fact that you're playing 2 lanes and the other team's playing 3 lanes plus jungle and Sven. So economically, you're not really winning here unless you're finding big kills. Now this one could be huge.
Yes, indeed. They get off the cold snap, and then Toby comes in with the call. They have enough damage to actually finish him off, though. Boom's going to have to go in Viz for now. It doesn't look like they have a detection, but finally mid one takes a tumble. It's going to cost the life of Toby, so it's a 1-for-1, but like you said, Viking will take that. Especially with all the rotations coming in from OG.
That is a much more impactful kill, and both teams are arriving. Now, in the meantime, there were a bunch of Serpent Wards flat out just taking a full tower mid, so no, it's still not good. At the very least, it just goes to show how effective OG are and how much they're pressuring the map, right? That Viking feel like they need to bring all these heroes to these moves that they're making, but in terms of the efficiency, it's just not favoring them.
Yeah, mid one top of the net worth right now by a pretty large margin, as he's going to get Demonic Purge. TP support on the wake. Soxa gets off a sheep. Still has Shackle to work with as the Tombstone is placed, but it looks like we'll be able to take it out, although Soul Rip is available. We're able to back out now as No-Tail has arrived. Time dilation goes up, but there's the GA to keep everybody nice and healthy. The Tombstone taken out in quick succession. So nicely done while he was shackled, not able to get off the Soul Rip. And it looks like he will be chased down eventually. You know, on the bottom side of this map, it looks like he missed. Continuing. Thompson EMP with 4 stacks of Shadow Poison right now.
Maybe not.
No-Tail is there. Purification. It's like he will live through the day. Do they have detection for Boom? It doesn't look like it. So after all that, an Undying died.
I think somebody else needs to pack a dust here. No-Tail can't afford it. He's looking at 12-minute boots now. He really wants to finally get those. Soxa, Aramis is in trouble. They do have Invoker in good position.
More TPs though. They have to be careful. Mid one's going to pop that ult, so God's Strength will provide the damage to take out Aramis on the high ground. Soxa, nice shackle. Boom. Doesn't have his Indus to work with anytime soon. As Seb is coming in, gets off the Midnight Pulse. It's going to be the cost of Soxa at the very least, but the Black Hole more than worth against Boom's Invoker. So this turns into a mini engagement of a 1-for-2 in OG's advantage, as they try to transition this into a tier 1 tower bot. But meanwhile, Thompson actually did defend the tier 1 mid as well.
Yeah,
I thought that was being
so they covered all their bases, and they're taking advantage of Axe not having dagger yet. All these, like this kind of dive is extremely dangerous if Axe has a dagger, but until that's online, you feel relatively safe. You know the Void left and went top, so going for that play doesn't seem like too high risk of a play from OG in that instance. And once again, nicely done. Thompson was extremely close to death, but Dissimulate came up again. He was able to get out of there. He was 4 stacked from Shadow Poison. 1 more would have done the trick, but Aramis wasn't able to connect it. He resets the fight, gets out, and then they can engage that chase. So OG, keep on building their advantage. Reckon they'll bring some true sight to the future moves. There's a sentry on Soxa. There's a sentry on No-Tail coming on the courier as well, so I think these Ghost Walk plays won't work anymore either. Thompson is
Thompson.
Very nice
On
remnant.
the way as well. Armis just gets taken out immediately. Shab with the Chronosphere into the Sunstrike. Not a very high level. Through the Quad Wex, but Toby comes in with that Blink Dagger reveal into the Culling Blaze. So it's a 1-for-1 to start things out, but No Tail might be the sacrificial lamb. Again, the second chop as the chase. They want to continue, but they cannot close the gap in any way. Thompson is in the vicinity as well, but no astral steps to work with. He's looking for this 14-minute
Can
run.
OG defend this tower? It looks like they're giving it up. The reason I'm imagining it as a possible play for them is that Chrono has been used there, and they have their hero spawning in 5 seconds. Oh, they are thinking about it, actually, after all. Seb TPing in, he has Dagger. Shad did not get that.
Oh!
Wait, he doesn't have Black Hole.
He does not have it. He was very scary, though,
Didn't need
that's for
it.
sure. But Shad is taken out regardless. Toby looks to be next on the list as Thompson used that astral step to a high degree. But Shadow Demon able to save Toby for now. They might be able to turn this as the EMP will not connect on Thompson, surprisingly enough. But the Shackle will keep Celery in place, but it looks like mid one looking for other priority targets here. So that's 3 stacks of Shadow Poison applied. Question is, does OG want to continue on or not? Seb blinks away, so I'm guessing the answer to that question is no.
Yeah. Celery actually surviving there. Very nicely done. With the, I believe it was a Glimmer Cape from the Invoker plus his own Soul Rip and stick charges. And like you said, mid one chose to stun another target. Thought the Undying was going to die there for sure, but didn't clean up.
Just didn't give a shit about the Undying.
Also possible. Definitely possible.
We've seen
still
that so many times. It's a 15-minute rune spawn.
This Sven is still getting a very dangerous progression graph in this game.
Yeah.
2,500 gold ahead of the Faceless Void, 15 minutes in. That is almost 200 GPM advantage.
So
going AC
looks like
here?
Assault. Yeah, instead of an Ags, which we'll typically see, or maybe a BKB.
Might be a timing thing where they want to get Roche plus tier 2 and tier 3 towers with the minus armor. It's really good for the Shadow Shaman as well as the Enigma Eidolons, possibly. Just a lot of value there. I don't see the armor being incredibly impactful this game. You're against Invoker, yeah, No Tail. Will you die again? Yes.
Oh, Seb jumps in with that Black Hole onto 2. No Tail with... He already used the Purification, but here comes Thompson with that burst damage. Boom. Do they have vision? Looks like they'll get him with that Astral.
Awesome
The Aether Remnant, I should say.
Super
2
good.
for nothing. No Tail lives through the day. Seb gonna get Heavenly Grace. Looks like Shad will at least finish off No Tail, but the Guardian Angel is popped. But the Soul Rip is enough to finish him off. Angel, unfortunately for OG, is wasted.
Oh, Shad's gonna farm here?
Himself.
Oh, never mind.
Chronosphere is gonna Chrono both Undying. That's how worthless he is, apparently, according to Shad right now. The stock's up. So he's gonna get chopped down by the initiation from Toby. And here comes mid one. The nice Stormhammer. The cleave is out of control. They're gonna be able to find 1, make it 2. And Celery should make it a clean 3. The double kill for mid one. Thompson getting the 3rd. Staying around a little too long in the enemy jungle for Viking.
OG are slamming them, man. There's not... Yeah.
I have a trivia question for you. Is this the right time for it?
Okay. This is the time.
Team fight where you're about to analyze. I'd like to give you a trivia question.
Okay.
So there was a hero in this game that No Tail was known for, like iconic, the mid hero for him in Heroes.
Shadow Shaman, Polyward Priest.
Dota. Damn, that's how. I probably told you this a million.
Radiant's
Old
top
You're an old
tower
man. You
is
forget
under
what you said
attack.
yesterday.
Hey, man, oh, Toby.
Where am I?
Available. Smoke. Reveal. Doesn't use the blink, though, to catch Soxa, but finally able to find space.
All right.
And the chop again. So 5 kills for him. Not able to find Seb, though.
Oh, they find Shad. There's Axe on Void Spirit.
Oh,
Double silence.
yikes.
Oh, maybe not. He has
Big
sticks.
kill.
Is under attack.
And he does get off the time dilation.
Oh,
there's
now
the
Thompson
save.
is awkward.
Armis
Awkwardly placed.
do a lot of damage. Thompson just TP out in the face.
Oh, the cold snap.
Oh, the cold snap from afar. Looks like Toby did end up going down to mid one in the end there, but Thompson, another Astral Step in 2 seconds, so it looks like he'll be fine as mid one just continues his rampage.
Dude, the amount of space, though. The fact that he doesn't die there and forces double TP just makes this top place so easy for mid one and Seb. When When Void gets jumped like that, your instinct on any support play there is to try to save him, right? So they bring... Well, they didn't bring a support except Shadow Demon. Undying wasn't much help there. But they brought Invoker as well for help. And he still manages to get out of that. Just the Heavenly Grace, his natural elusiveness, and the lack of damage that these heroes have on Viking when they catch him there. They just can't punish him enough. I thought for sure he was going to kill Void, but nice stick charges at the very least. Stays alive. Cost him 2 teammates on the other side of the map.
The next label play, the next label play, the next label.
OG with that 9k net worth lead as the neutrals starting to drop for OG specifically here. AC is done for mid one. I believe you mentioned that. Obviously the Ag we saw already for Thompson. And Desto looks to be the choice here, but out in the meantime, nice another smoke gank here from Viking. I feel like they're doing a pretty good job with that, but they can get away. As Thompson jumps in, the silence continues onto Armin. It looks like he's going to live through the day. Gets up the Demonic Virgin in tow as well as Saksa. Gets the shackle onto Toby, but he's going to live for now. As Thompson stuck inside the brunt of the damage, but the GA is going to save him. It does for now, and he just gets away with a sliver of HP going down to this Battle Hunger, but it's a relatively low level right now. So it looks like he will bottle through that. As mid one, gonna get some help from the Aether Remnant, but just in time, the time walk for Chad. Mid one, creates enough space to dodge the EMP. The Stormhammer connects, but here's the counter initiation again from Toby with that Blade Mail, but there's a Chronosphere now. On to 2 heroes, just a sliver as Saksa runs right into it, but Chad does 0 damage on top of all that. And just like that, 3 have died in this engagement. And it's gonna be 4 very shortly as the silence continues. They have no counter to this Resonant Pulse Ags. And now into a Roche. Steph still has Black Hole throughout all that. He died at the very beginning and was able to join his team towards the end of that engagement.
I know you love your Ags lists.
Yes.
Where do you place Void Spirit Ags right now?
Radiant.
I'd have to reorganize. I think I did before Void Spirit had it.
You did. So just gut feel. How good do you think it is?
In all honesty, if you compare it to all the other Ags and you're given for free, it's probably average. I know you hate that answer.
Wow.
Yeah, I think Ags are really good in Dota in general.
Yeah. I think this Ags is one of the absolute best. There's a reason you see...
I look at Snapfire, and that's like a top 5 probably, right?
Yeah, Snap is incredible too.
That.
But the amount of impact you have when you just collect this item on Void Spirit is absolutely insane. Look at the place he can pull off. He's literally jumping into 5 heroes and just killing them.
It's quite good, I will say.
Average play by Thompson with average item.
Toby gets off the call. Looks like Seb will fall again. So neither will get that Black Hole, but it doesn't matter. Thompson's just destroying everybody. He doesn't even have the Deso yet. So finds both the Invoker and the Undying. Another Astral Step. I mean, just continues his rampage. A triple kill for Thompson. They can be able to turn this into a potential tier 2, or at least some damage applied to it. Still the Aegis intact for mid one. All right, so average is like 60, right? Let's say 40. It's in the 40 range.
Oh my God, it's definitely top 10.
Top 5? Did you say top 5?
I said definitely top 10. I would probably put top 5.
Top 10? I don't know.
I'd probably do that too, honestly.
I mean, we can do the next list together if you'd like.
I'll probably pull my hair out.
Number 1 is definitely Lifestealer, by the way. The save potential is unreal, let me tell you. But yeah, Aegis still there for mid one as he is working towards an Abyssal Blade. I believe he has the Bash already. Probably being delivered right now. And back to this. So 14k net worth. This is unfortunate. A stack denial. Unless they stack them themselves, I'm not sure. They've had so
Thompson's
much
literally 1v5 right now. Just want to point that out.
Yep, that's typical.
Okay, now it's 2v5.
Not able to finish off the Undying quite yet. He's already expended all his Astral Steps, so put himself in a precarious spot. In the meantime, Axe gets up a nice call. It's going to end up being a trade, 1 for 1, but again, Viking will take that.
Just any other player in the world do that. I mean, OG, obviously, they had the outpost, so they were ready to make that connection play with it, but he burst all of his escapes and mobility spells into a position 5, and he missed the last Astral Step, so he didn't get the Undying play. But they still trade 1 for 1. And OG don't care, they're just going high ground.
Yep, this is going to be a tier 3 at the very least. They don't even have a Fortify to work with. Probably go for Rax if they really want to force it, but of course they don't have the Void Spirit, which is a huge part of their team fight right now with that double silence that you've been alluding to so often. Tornado's gonna purge a little bit off there, but
The next label play. The next label play.
looks like OG will just reset. Still have that Aegis, but I think it's gonna pop by the time they want to end up fighting again, most likely. God Strength and another minute. I mean, again, I'm not saying Void Spirit Ags is bad. I'm just saying, like, typically you don't see a Void Spirit go this ham when they get Ags, but he just got it so early. In my opinion.
Yep.
Humble opinion.
Everyone is allowed to have their opinion.
That's fine, Cinderin. Oh, all right.
That's
Aramis
another death.
gets
Oh, this
off
is
the
a
map.
big kill.
Oh, yes, and they still have the Stormhammer to work with. Although he uses mathematics, there's a black hole onto the Undying.
They got him.
They really hate that disgusting zombie. But either way, that's 3 dead. No buyback on the Void, so that should open up a set of bottom racks. They do have a little counter potential with the Blink, Blade Mail, and whatnot. And still waiting for this wave to come in. But mid one, I mean, he still has his ult in a couple seconds if he uses it here. And they can get mid racks as well. It is open.
Radiant's
They cannot go for megas. He's just going to get the melee and run to the tier 3.
Dire's
Void is up in 15, has Chronosphere.
are under attack.
But again, like with this build, very defensive. Blade Mail, or sorry, Hannah Midas, Black King Bar, and 0 damage to work with. This is going to be 2 racks. As Celery gets destroyed. That is the Desolator Thompson now. Oh, the silence prevents Toby's Berserker's call. That is truly unfortunate.
Oh my
Only a die, but Jesus. Boy, dead again. He just revived, young man. Jesus. Get out of here. OG looking time to take this series 3-0. Mid one still has the Aegis. Looks like he might consume it here. It's going to be close in terms of the timing. Toby gets a nice call onto 2, but only 2 remaining members of Viking are standing. And not for long, it looks like. Thompson
Oh, he missed.
goes into the fountain as per usual. GA a little bit late. Might have been out of range as well, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
GG called, and wow. Viking lose 5 games in a row, Cinder. I don't... Kind of insane. I was not expecting that.
They didn't really stand a chance today. That's what it looked like. They actually just got flat out outclassed in every game. I love OG's approach to the first 2 games. I really love what they brought to the table with this aggression. It's like they've done their studying on their opponent and how they lost to VP, and then they're like, how can we abuse the same weakness and